Hi, Sherilyn. I think I haven't said hi to you guys yet.
Oh, there we go. All right, everyone. Yes, we are recording. Thank you guys so much for being on here. Yes, Ken, Sherilyn, Kathy, Susan, Kayla, Daniel, and Audrey. I'm so pumped to be sharing some of the amazing things that occurred in 2023 and some of the really exciting goals that we are setting for FRC going into 2024. So I will. Obviously, I think most everyone knows everyone who's on call today. But again, thank you for being on today as Jen, founder CEO. In terms of our admin team on right now, we also have Audrey, who's our Chief Administrative Officer. We've got Kayla, who is our Director of HR. We have Susan, who works within our bookkeeping organization. We have Kathy, our coach manager. So we've got a lot of great admins on here. And I know there will be a couple more coming in as our night continues or as this meeting continues. So as they jump on, we'll be sure to introduce them as we move through. So what I plan on doing now is sharing my screen and getting started with some things to share. I'm super excited. This is going to be so fun. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? I see yeses. All right, good. Yep. All right, guys. So again, cheers to 2023. Here's to 2024. Just a brief overview of what we'll be discussing today. We'll be going into each of the different departments, discussing some of the pieces that we worked on in 2023 and our goals and how they will align and move into 2024. Beginning with some travel and connections. You know, when you're day to day in operations here and working and traveling and doing all these things, you don't always realize the bigger picture of what it is that you're accomplishing. And so I feel very, I was very overwhelmed when I saw like, oh my gosh, we did this much this year. Again, business updates and goals, department updates, communications outreach, and then operations and a final message from us here. So in terms of 2023 travel, we put some images together. Some of you might recognize the faces on here of the people that we spent time with, the areas of the country that we explored. Some of these images come from our FDIC trip, which is the biggest event that FRC attends. The Fire Department International Conference is just an incredible organization. There's over 35,000 attendees, 3,000 vendors. It is a massively huge, amazing space that takes up not only a stadium, but also a convention and conference center. Audrey?
Yeah, these were some of the pictures that I chose. I mean, that picture in the top middle, that is Lucas Oil Stadium where the Indiana Colts play. And that is maybe 20% of the entire convention.
That's a really picture, yes, the event.
As Jen said, it's huge. Just to the left of it, there's a little bit of the corridor, and all the way over to the left of that. So we go from FDIC to this picture in the corner was taken at the DCU Center in Worcester here in Massachusetts for the New England Fire Chiefs Association. So we do everything from big to small and in between. You can see Jen
through at FDIC. Yeah.
FDIC. Lower right. This was when we were up at the New Hampshire Fire Academy for our co-hosted event. Jen was speaking. The gentleman all the way over to the left, I don't recall his name, but I believe he is like, and I'll probably get his rank wrong. He runs the New Hampshire Fire Academy. He is the head chief, and he made time to come and introduce himself. And if you look on the tables, you can see the brown FRC swag bag. So we try to leave little breadcrumbs everywhere we go. The couple in the middle, the building with the ivy, that was Bishop's Ranch. You've heard of Sue Farron and First Responder Resiliency. That was where we stayed. We always look for random hearts, and we found that one in the Daisy up in Flagstaff. The absolutely adorable face on Jen's lap is Mango. He was
Yeah.
he was up at Bishop's Ranch, and then all the way to the bottom right was the cops event down in Orlando, and the lady with the blonde hair and the FRC, her name is Stacy. I can't recall her last name. Jen, you can tell us a little bit about her and how she came to go to Florida with us.
So yeah, Stacy actually was here at this event in New Hampshire and did a presentation about her husband who committed suicide, and some of her experiences. And I reconnected with her up in Maine for an event, and we invited her to come along with us to the COPS event. She was very excited. This is a presenter named Tom Rizzo. They had a lot of different individual speakers. We were able to attend different talks and classes. So she attended with me this presentation by Tom Rizzo.
And just a quick note about that event. That way it was put on by the cops, Concerns of Police Survivors. And the title of the conference was Health and Wellness of Our Law Enforcement, specifically law enforcement. And I think that was really the first event we've gone to that wasn't just a convention in general with a small aspect of health and wellness in it. The whole conference was about the health and wellness. So it was really, really great to be there.
Yep. Made lots of connections. Again, here's some other images from the year. This is at an event that I went to. It's called the iChief event, the International Association of Fire Chief Events out in Kansas City, Missouri, which was awesome. Here's a picture of our friend Sue Farron during our trip out to First Responder Resiliency Inc. The spread she had for us there. And shortly before that trip, we were in Henderson visiting with our buddy, our good friend. My brain just stopped. Don Pemberton,
DJ. Yep. He took us up on the ladder truck.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was like one of the scariest things ever. I don't know if you guys can see. I tried to keep some of the surroundings. It was like all the way up. I don't even know. Like,
yeah. Las Vegas is in the horizon somewhere.
It's insane. Yeah, it was crazy. Very scary. So I got to visit with them. Again, another event that we had participated out in the Las Vegas area. This was an event specifically, again, for cops in mental health and wellness. Met a few friends there that we've seen at a number of other events since that one. I'd like to talk a little bit shortly about our Buckhannon, West Virginia project that we're working on. And then shortly after our Buckhannon, West Virginia project, we did a couple of events here more locally in Connecticut area. And that's when we discovered the excitement that ducks produce on our first responder faces. I kid you not, when we have these duckies of all of there's the SWAT, there's firefighters, there's chiefs, it's hilarious how much our first responder community loves the ducks. So it's been an ongoing theme since our Connecticut trips to include duckies in our marketing. This is a pile of them. We were putting QR codes on the bottom to make sure we could keep track of them. People could get a hold of us using and seeing the duckies. So that was a really cool marketing idea that has absolutely been very, very successful this year. Additionally, in that Orlando event, I brought my daughters and my husband. I had to include this picture because both of them were working the table in incredible ways. It was such a cool opportunity for my girls to kind of see what behind the scenes work I'm doing here with FRC. And then lastly, not least at all, our First Responders in Crisis documentary that came out this year. I wanted to highlight this, and as you all will see after our presentation tonight, I will be sending out an email that covers all of these calls to actions, all of these pieces, and one of them will be to go and see online. It is streaming in a number of different apps. Our First Responders in Crisis documentary that FRC was a part of, that I was a part of. So please make sure if you have not seen that yet, because that was an incredible part of this year as well. So lots of really cool places and people and things that we did and we saw. Here is the full list, guys, the full list of all of the different places that FRC visited this year. over 23 different places, spaces, presentations, we, events. We vetted certain treatment facilities. We did presentations in the departments that we have contracts with. Just such an incredible amount of events and people, thousands and thousands of people that we were able to meet with, connect with for the last year. As you can see, again, we're trying to get, we have the EMS, we've got the fire chiefs, we've got police chiefs. So trying to make run the full gamut of our first responder community. So some basic overarching business updates that I'd like to share with everyone tonight. In terms of our coaches, we are now reaching over 17 states and Canada within our coaches, which is super exciting. We have received ICF certification for our CAPS program. Again, CAPS being our Coach Approach to Peer Support program. So that is the program that we are really pushing for all the members of our peer support programs that are being built across the country to use Coach Approach within their peer support programming. We have welcomed 14 new coaches in 5 cohorts of our coach certification class this year. Again, incredible numbers. In terms of our social media, guys, this was some really cool stuff too. We added over 5.4 thousand leads into our Salesforce platform, right? We took on our Salesforce platform, which I was very overwhelmed at the beginning of learning how to use it, this customer relationship management system. And we have just done such a great job of getting contacts and leads into Salesforce in order to continue to communicate, in order to build relationships, and ultimately see growth in FRC within those leads through that platform. We have made 411 posts, social media posts this year across the platforms. And then these numbers I thought were pretty incredible. 57,000 impressions on our posts on our social media platforms, reaching over 37,000 viewers, users, people who are accessing our social media. Over 37,000 people are accessing our social media platforms and seeing our posts and such. Audrey?
Just a quick question, Jen. When you say impressions, is that like if somebody clicks like or does an emoji or something like that? Is that considered an impression?
Yeah, that could be a part of the impression. It could be people who have stopped and looked at it for a couple of seconds. Okay. It could be a number of different ways that person has engaged with that post. It is just a way that someone's engaged with the post. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. In terms of operations, we've added 8 part-time positions at FRC, thanks to our amazing HR organization and creating some of the real pivotal pieces that we've needed to build out some of these positions here. We've attended over 15 conferences throughout the year, created the foundation. And this is something I'm really, really proud of, guys. And I want to talk to you more about it at some point in the near future. But if you haven't been following along, the FRC Foundation has been created to support the spouses and family members. As most of you know, as a spouse of that first responder, I found no resources after Kevin had some struggles. So in seeing the work that we're doing within FRC, connecting to departments and connecting to individuals is phenomenal and great. However, we're still not seeing the spouses engaging. We're still not seeing the outreach that we need to in order to connect with the spouses of the department members who are using and utilizing our services. So I wanted to create the foundation to be able to provide one-for-one sessions for the department members as for the spouses moving forward. So keep an ear out, because that FRC Foundation, we've got some news to share about that coming up shortly. So some of the goals that we have moving forward into 2024. Again, offering our coach certification class monthly to continue to expand our network of coaches, improving our rebooking rates for coaching sessions. We've had a lot of movement in terms of people booking, signing up for sessions, but we need to work on continuing to rebook those sessions up, up the rebooking rates. We want to continue to expand our social media marketing and further support our coaches, right? So as we're using social media marketing to promote coaching, not just educate, I feel like we've done a really good job this past year of educating people about what coaching is, what it looks like, and we will continue to do so. But using some social media marketing specifically to support our coaches and bring in more coaching sessions. Operations, again, this FRC Foundation fundraiser. I don't want to give too much away just yet, but we have a really exciting idea that we plan on launching in the next month or so as to what our first major foundation fundraiser will entail. Get your black ties out and your fancy dresses and heels, but more on that to come. And then improving our conversion rates, right? Period, right? Improving our conversion rates for coaching sessions, proposals, and contracts, guys. That's what our goals are moving into 2024, just continuing to build on what we've created so far. So in terms of department updates here, we've got some updates from Paul and Megan. Megan, I understand she might not be able to share. She's on and listening. But I'm not sure if she's going to be able to unmute, but I will discuss a little bit about Paul's program. Or actually, Kayla, do you want to take this slide? Review a bit of what we've been going on with the director of training, Paul.
Absolutely. Yeah. Paul's had a very busy year. As you guys all know, Paul is never sitting back and doing nothing. So he's been super busy. So in 2023, he got his HeartMath certification, which also allowed us to stretch that further for FRC. He assisted with beginning the implementation of the stress and well-being assessment, which has been included in all of our offerings now going forward. So it's included in a lot of the pricing, so that way it's added to our services. He completed the train the trainer process. He also had to go through and get permissions from all companies that throughout all of our programs, and that was a pretty extensive process overall. So he received either permissions, altered permissions, or things like that. Once he received all of that, he then updated all his materials and the materials that we use for our programs, which was an astronomical amount of work. So we really appreciate him doing that. He established the mentor coaching program, and that's currently available. He finalized the CAPS program and then obtained ICF certification, which again is another process that is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely a very long process and very detailed. FRC Academy course creation. So this is the courses that are available through FRC Academy for external individuals who are interested in understanding what coaching is, give them a little taste of coaching in hopes that we can convert them over to a coaching partner, but also for some of those people who might be hesitant overall. And then he spent a lot of work on FRC Coaches Academy creation, which is specific for our current coaches and future coaches for continued education, access to more resources, or some of the videos that you might have participated in or seen if you want to review them again in the future. It's available on the Coaches Academy.
Yes, which we are going to have a little bit more conversation about before the end of this call. Again, 2024 goals. Kayla, do you want to review these with us for Paul?
Sure. So Paul's goals for 2024 is to create a level 2 coach training program to, again, extend those coaches' abilities and focus more on improving skill sets so we can be stronger, better coaches. Work to obtain ICF certification for level 1 coaching program, which is, again, not something that is a small task, but really would be phenomenal for FRC and all of its coaches for that ICF certification. A few notes to that is that there is a lot of expectations of coaches through that. And so you'll see us starting to convert a lot of that in 2024. So a lot of those expectations, so that way we can readily and easily transition into that new program. So we'll have more information as he starts that process and we continue into the new year. Again, reviewing and updating all training materials and add additional trainings as needed. So, Paul is a wealth of knowledge, and also his brain is always churning about ways to either support FRC, provide additional materials for the coaches, for our coaching partners. So I can't, it's a small bullet point, but I know that it really means a million things.
Lot.
So yes.
Yes, absolutely. And I do, again, kudos out to Paul for working on that ICF certifications for the CAPS program and moving that into the level 1 coaching program for FRC. The man needed to go through and create bullet points for every 15 minutes of each individual class and spell out exactly how each minute is going to be used within the class. So a massive, massive undertaking for Paul going into 2024. And we really appreciate his commitment and dedication to FRC and our growth there. So Megan, I don't know, again, if you can unmute or not a big deal in terms of our
I'm going to attempt.
Let's do it, Megan. Yay.
All right. So is this there's my slide. Okay. So in 2023, we successfully launched 5 CCC classes. There was a little bit of holdback at some point because we decided to streamline the process. So we did have a little bit of a delay in getting some of those classes launched, but because of that, it is going to be for the greater good. So it was worth it. We designed and implemented this new process for prospective coaches. This way, we're not losing anyone through the cracks. We're able to get everything we need before that cohort begins. And we also have now established a waitlist process for upcoming cohorts. So instead of just collecting people's information as they say they are interested, we are putting them down in this wait list. Some of them are actually putting their deposit down to save their spot. So we are making that process easier. And then we are able to kind of build out the classes quicker once we have started a cohort. So hopefully, we can get 2 going a month as this waitlist grows. Our goals for 2024 is, again, to offer that coach certification monthly, if not monthly, maybe even 2 a month. We hope for that. Collaborate more with the coach managers and those coach meetings. So Kathy and I have been meeting, and I know that Susan's going to start pulling a meeting during the week as well. So I'm going to work with them in order to make sure that we have that continued communication and to get the feedback from coaches and to see what the needs are and any ideas and brainstorming together. I'm hoping that we can launch a CAPS cohort. Paul worked really hard on that CAPS program and got that ICF certification. So I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to do that in this coming year. Another thought is to get coaches integrated into those meetings. So having attended a bunch of Kathy's meetings, they're super informative. They're educational. It's a good place to meet with other coaches. So coming up with this idea of, how do we help integrate the new coaches who might be a little more hesitant to go to a meeting that already has an established group? And how do we get Susan's group also going? So that will be one of the goals we're working towards in 2024. To make sure coaches are feeling like they have a place, and then they will be prepared and ready when those clients do come in. And I think that's all the quiet I'm going to get. So I'm going to mute myself again.
Thank you so much, Megan, for jumping on tonight. I really appreciate your time and ability to share that with us. So in terms of communications and outreach, just a few pieces here. We have created a marketing campaign for the FRC Academy in 2023. We launched it, connected to individuals and departments after conferences via email and text. It's, when we're having conferences, I'm having conversations with dozens of people at a conference. Sometimes I get confused, like, who is this? And I gotta start. You should see my business cards. I've got stars. I need to create a better system. So I've been really working on creating connections after the conferences, reaching right out. Next day, via email and text messages to continue that those conversations. And then the Resilient Responder podcast is back in action, guys. We had started it. It had a great run. We ended up having to put it on hold for a little while in 2023. And now we have offered or connected with the SCARS boys. SCARS Inc. is an organization out of West Virginia who had a small start in their own podcasting. And we have combined forces to rebuild and I'm super pumped to look at the numbers for our Resilient Responder podcast and getting word out again that coaching is the modality to help support our first responder community. So really excited that we have that partnership moving forward. Some 2024 pieces here, guys. Again, continuing to build on the marketing campaigns for all of the services with a structured team. So not quite sure exactly what that's going to look like, but using specific campaign marketing for individual services, all services. We would like to improve rates of communication, again, after conferences, using some of the resources that we have access to. We have access to MailChimp, which is the name of an organization that helps us to send out emails, those types of things. And they've got some resources that we can help automate some of these pieces. And I think it's going to be a really positive process to improve communication into 2024. And then again, continuing the growth of the podcast through promotions, through activities, through visiting them, being on the podcast. If anyone has any interest in being on the podcast, using some coaching skills and strategies through the podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out. We give you some contact information to those gentlemen who are currently in our latest cohort of our coach certification class. So super exciting to have their support as we continue to move forward with the podcast. Caroline, you are on. Are you able to unmute and share?
Yes, I can do that.
Awesome. Thanks, Caroline.
Yeah. So 2023 was basically continuity focused. So basically we increased our social media activity by creating more engaging posts, more like questions putting out to people and things like that. I've been using more productive keywords, the styles and the articles. I have done a little bit more with the style of how I write the posts for FRC. Been focusing a little bit more on SEO for blogs. SEO is search engine optimization. Literally, like, you can write a great news article, but if you write it in a particular fashion, a particular style, it will be pulled up by Google a little bit more. So I've been changing some of the styles to be a little more noticeable by Google to have us come up higher on a search. And I've been just in the last couple weeks, Jen and I have started on Reels. So you'll see some of those a little bit more. We're aiming in 2024 to be a little more defined on what we're putting out per week and per month and going forward. So we'll continue with the one article every Tuesday. It's either going to be first responder news, an issue, mental health, something lighthearted, coach related, or self-help or self-improvement. So I kind of rotate through those types of topics. That way it's more engaging, like different types of first responders or different types of people gravitate towards different types of posts. That way I can keep it reaching as much, as I can in terms of the different demographics and personality types or whatever.
Yes.
I'm putting out, or as a collectively, we're putting out 3 to 4 posts at least across Facebook and Instagram, and 1 to 2 a week on LinkedIn, and 2 reels, posting to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then we're going to start building towards a higher domain authority through a backlinking campaign, which I hope to have sort of put together by the end of quarter one. Backlinking is basically you're asking other people with high domain authorities. That means that their website is more popular on Google, basically. And you're asking them to, hey, share my article, tag our name, throw our website into some, tag our website or link our website into something, or link this article into something that you write. So And then if people read their article and they're really popular and have a high volume of audience, and they click on something that goes to our site, that's that backlinking process. And the more backlinks that we get, the higher our domain authority and the more popular we are on search engines like Google. So that's kind of what I'm doing in the back end and what I'm going to try to build for 2024 to get us more popular on search engines, so that when people are searching for anything coach related or first responder related, we're in your face. That's the goal.
Yeah, popped up right away. Absolutely. That's great, Caroline. Thank you for sharing those pieces. Again, your work and your writing as publicist has just been incredible throughout the year. So thank you for your continued work and phenomenal writing promoting FRC. So I know you and Kayla worked diligently on the creation of some of the themes that we'll be looking at moving into 2024. Do either of you want to share your ideas here?
I go ahead, Caroline, if you want to jump in.
Oh, sure. So we looked at we just basically took it month at a time, and we looked at some of the popular, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and most of us know that. And then there's First Responder Appreciation Month in October, because October 28th is First Responder Appreciation Day. So we started by going through days like that. There were months and that had particular themes that were a little bit more obvious. And then with the rest of them, we filled in the blanks. We filled in the blanks with a particular day or a group that wasn't yet represented. And so we kind of try to pull a theme into each month as best we could. And then if there's a single day randomly in a particular month, we'll try to highlight that just to kind of keep things relevant. And it also is going to help us with hashtags. If there's a particular hashtag that's really popular or a keyword that's really popular at a particular point during the year, and we include that, that brings us to the top, or
Yes.
It helps bring us to the top. So I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add, Kayla, or if you wanted to go through it particularly.
No, I think that overall you did a great job of covering it. I mean, I think it's just we're providing that to everybody now, just so hopefully you get an idea of some of the topics that we will see in social media, see in articles, and then potentially be talking across the company to try and, again, bring that cohesiveness from the various parts and angles that we're looking at, whether it be for coach partners, our coaches, or internally within our team. So.
Yeah, and as mentioned, our Super Saturday trainings, that'd be a great opportunity to incorporate some of the messages and the themes internally as well as externally. So absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Unfortunately, Matt is on the road. It does not look like he is on tonight. So Audrey, would you mind reviewing Matt is our, again, Chief Business Officer. He has been with FRC and part of our executive team from the start. Mariah and him work very, very closely. And so I think that this is some really exciting news here and some goals moving into our new year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we obviously know we don't, sales is a 5-letter word, but it's very important. So this year was the first year that we've actually had our business development people responded. So we responded to 21 requests for proposal. We've got 21 proposals out there that we're in the process of following up with. Jen, did you get my email about Atlantic, Iowa?
I did.
Okay, just want to make sure that we follow up with them.
Absolutely.
Yep. We've made department sales in 5 states, thousands of emails. It's a catch-22. What's the best way to, reach out to someone to break the ice? Is it a text? Is it a phone call? Is it an email? Is it a letter? We've been going the email route to see how that's going. The response has been slow, very slow. Whether it's I'm sure it's a combination of Timing, any time of year, maybe it may not be better than any other. Something we've talked about also is, and Jen touched on it earlier, was we've been doing the educating about coaching and why it's so beneficial. But that's an ongoing uphill battle. Once the people see that, and it doesn't take much to have to get them to see it, it's getting all the other pieces to fall into line. So that was pretty much 2023, 2024 goals. Increase our proposal requests, obviously, 100%, department sales by 75%. Looking to expand our business development outreach to another 14 states. And then working on the academy, sales of the academy, and the individual coaching sessions through a collaboration of BizDev and the FRC coaches.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing charge to keep the name out there.
Yeah, and I think Mariah's done an incredible job. Again, shout out to Mariah and Daryl. You did a phenomenal job working within our business development department here. It's a hard going piece where we're again educating and trying to communicate effectively about what coaching looks like, and then also pushing forward in proposals and in sales. So one piece of tidbit that did not make it into our slide deck is we have seen an over 15% increase in our sales this year. So that's a pretty big, freaking exciting number, to have 15% increase in sales this year. So again, things are gaining momentum, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like for 2024.
Yeah. And just to clarify that sales number, that percentage, I mean, it's everything from individual packages to the coach certification class, to the department packages, to everything. It's all lumped into that.
Pretty exciting movement, guys. So Audrey, if you could continue, again, as our Chief Admin Officer, if you could share some of your updates and goals. I definitely appreciate your 2023 update of travel.
So much of what I do is covered, in support of HR, in support of the coaches, in support of BizDev. So there's not that I can recall, no great updates from the past year, other than I've traveled more this year than I think I ever have in a 12-month period, which is absolutely a great thing. But some specific goals for 2024. Most of you have heard us talk about, well, you've all heard us talk about, the First Responder Coaching Foundation. But also this year we launched Two Roads Coaching under the umbrella of Blue Line Coaching. And Two Roads Coaching is our target demographic. There is the non-first responder groups that can benefit from coaching. I mean, over the course of the year, teachers have reached out to us, nurses. At the COPS event in Florida, I had a great conversation with a woman who works, I think it's for the Indiana State Judicial System, and she was asking if we were able to could coach the civilians that deal with things and such like that. So
work in the court systems, yes. So you don't think about all of the people who are in the court systems who might not be considered first responders, yet are still hearing testimony and some really difficult things as throughout their careers.
Yep. So you're going to see a little bit more of this as we move into it more, the umbrella of Blue Line Coaching LLC being the parent company, and then we're going to have some DBAs. So my goal in 2024 is to continue that integration. We have to look at obviously all aspects of it. Sales, tracking, numbers, the legal side of everything, keeping those three things separate. And then also just continue to strengthen the relationships between us and our partners, specifically Battalion 1 consultants. I didn't see the email, but I just got a little notification, something about from Battalion 1 regarding Buchanan. So we'll see what he has to say there. And then your first responder resiliency. there's so much potential when you join forces. You know, as Jen is often heard saying, you know, we may be in different rowboats, but we're all rowing in the same direction. So those will be my main goals. And then I didn't put it on here, but, you know, support all the other aspects and departments of Blue Line coaching as I can.
Thank you, Audrey. I appreciate you sharing those. Just a brief review from Wendy. I know most of you have seen emails. Actually, all of you have probably seen emails from Wendy. Wendy is our Chief Executive Assistant here. She's been working with us for a few months now and has been a phenomenal addition to our FRC admin team. She has, in terms of her goals for 2023, what she's worked on this year so far, again, supporting FRC strategy meetings. She does a phenomenal job of taking notes and providing some feedback for our executive team as well as our dream team meetings. She provides me with some really great support with travel arrangements. She's phenomenal. She's always finding really great travel arrangements for me. And Audrey and anyone else, I should say. Mariah, she helps out with some travel arrangements for Mariah as well, and Susan this year as well. So it's been phenomenal having her support us through that. Contacting customers, setting up meetings. She's been really great. She sees emails come in and reaches out to them, schedules appointments with them for me, puts them on my calendar. Again, keeping me on the straight and narrow. She's really helped me organize this year. MailChimp contacts, again, to continue. I've stacks and stacks of business cards. That poor woman has been chipping away at making sure that all of the contacts are in and being utilized within MailChimp. And then again, our FRC newsletter, guys. So as you know, Wendy has been putting out the weekly newsletter. If you have not been paying attention to it or seeing it or reading it, take some time, take a look at that. Again, that has information provided from our executive team, provided from our dream team meetings, includes links, includes a lot of information about the happenings, the weekly happenings of FRC. So yes, while we're doing these quarter meetings, these all hands on deck meetings, it is important to keep track of what FRC is up to within the weekly updates as well. So please be mindful and keep checking for your weekly newsletter. They typically come out on Thursdays. Typically Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, but keep an eye out for that weekly newsletter from Wendy each week as we continue to move into 2024. Some of her goals that she has for us is to continue support for me behind the scenes, for us, for Audrey, for Matt, for Kayla, for Paul, for Megan, for our entire team. If there's something that is up, you know, something that comes up and you have a question and you're not quite sure who to ask, don't hesitate to email Wendy, and she will certainly submit your question to us or any supportive needs that you might have. She plans on continuing to attend all of our meetings. Again, she's phenomenal when it comes to, hey, we're having a marketing meeting, can you jump on? Or hey, you know, we're having a biz dev meeting, can you jump on? Or whatever that might look like. So she's been so instrumental in supporting our meetings and achieving our goals through those conversations. And then she has on here taking our FRC coach certification course. I'm super excited. We happen to have a couple of members of our FRC team that still need to take it. And so that will be happening in 2024. Kayla. Anyways, moving on. Speaking of, we could not be where we are right now without the support of Kayla coming into FRC. So Kayla, Director of Human Resources, please, thank you for being here. And if you could share out a little bit more about what you got going on.
Absolutely. So again, you know, I'm wrapping up my first year officially with FRC, and my focus has primarily been focusing on FRC strategy, creating SOP, looking at different gaps and areas that we can improve on, and then always trying to look at everything as, you know, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, to hopefully make it so we don't have to re-look at some things, although we do have to on occasion, but that's okay. Just being able to adjust and change as the business is growing and changing, because FRC when I first started back at the end of 2022. And FRC today are very different already. So it's amazing to see all the growth and newness that's coming in. I also worked on updating the onboarding process for employees and coaches. So again, just looking at those processes and seeing how we can either streamline it, eliminate it, or update it and partner where we need to. For 2024, my goals are to continue to support any needs for cohesion within FRC for employees, contractors, coaches, and partners. Supporting the strategy meetings and internal communications processes, and just overall evaluating and updating any processes based on what we are seeing for growth within FRC. As we look at everybody's individual department goals and roles and responsibilities, anywhere that I can fit in and help is really my goal, to help make sure that we can all be successful as a group and as a team. And that's where I'm at.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Kayla, so much. Again, you're absolutely right. FRC of late 2022, early 2023 is nothing in comparison to where FRC is now. And that goes a lot to your work and your support of FRC. And greatly appreciate your efforts. So with that, just a couple pieces, actually, before I move on to that slide, I guess a couple more pieces I'd like to share. And again, that kind of goes back to information about the fact that we've been able to employ 8 people within FRC this year, right? We've been able to support the growth of our department and organization packages. And that speaks to a little bit, again, to what Audrey had mentioned, so, with our proposals and following up with our proposals and our Buckhannon work. Just keep your eyes open, guys, because 2024 is going to be a really exciting year with the finalization of our Buckhannon project. That will be a massive undertaking of 3 counties in the state of West Virginia. Each county in West Virginia has received state funding, grant funding to build out support programs for the mental health and wellness of their first responder communities. And so FRC is on the forefront with Battalion 1 in the creation of, they would like a peer support program built out. And FRC is helping to provide the tools necessary to build out that programming, using also in conjunction with Battalion 1 consultants. So keep an eye out. West Virginia project. We've got 3 counties. There are 55 counties in West Virginia. So if you know anyone in West Virginia, please send them my way. We'll have some conversation around how we can, again, build out some supports, because that state unfortunately has very, very, very limited resources. So I'm really excited for that project, guys. So keep your eye out for that. And again, just really excited for the growth continuing into 2024 in terms of some calls to action here. So what is it that we need you to do? What is it that we at FRC are looking to help as we continue to move into 2024, achieve our goals, achieve our growth, our building? Some of these pieces include rebooking, right? To build your coaching partner client list, guys, right? So coaching sessions are coming in and you're accepting them. That's great. Always rebook your sessions before you hang up the phone from that session, right? Constantly rebooking sessions, making sure that you're tracking, and jumping down a little bit, tracking and communicating about your sessions. Again, you're going to be receiving an email after this meeting tonight that has a bit more information about each of these items here. But again, tracking, communicating your sessions, rebooking your sessions, and that's really going to ensure the success of FRC's coaching sessions moving forward. Please make sure that you're sharing, you're commenting, you're engaging with our posts. 411 posts that were made across the platforms this year, 411 opportunities for you to share what we're doing here with FRC. Comment, again, engaging with those posts is incredibly important to the growth of FRC. A little tidbit in here. So we are officially ready to launch our FRC Coaches Academy. Our Coaching Academy, FRC Academy, that we've been putting out there and promoting has been for people who are not coaches, people who are just looking for resources to learn a little bit more about coaching. But what we have done, Paul, Kayla, everyone has a huge shout out to them. We have created an FRC Coaches Academy. So an online space using our website Member Vault to have coaches access intro to coaching courses and DISC trainings for our own development and growth. So again, at the end of this meeting, you'll be receiving an email that contains a link for you all to sign up for your FRC Coaches Academy. Okay. Really big, really big news. I'm ready and excited to launch that. So keep an eye out for that email. Other things, again, attend our coaches meeting. I just set it up, and again, you'll see it in the email. There are links to both of our coaches team meetings. Susan is starting a coaches team meeting on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. And we've got Kathy's coaches team meeting as well at 8:30 p.m. Having those on Tuesdays, you know, offering two different coaches team meetings for people to be able to attend East Coast to West Coast and Canada. I'm really excited to get the momentum there. So attending those coaches team meetings, attending Coffee with Jen. I every Thursday am on here having coffee with some really cool people, checking in with me about what's going on in the coaching world, a little bit background, more information on some of the things, and maybe I share a little bit more than I should sometimes during those coffee sessions. But it's an amazing opportunity, right? So get involved, right? Get involved, guys, with FRC through the attending of these different types of meetings. Don't hesitate to share feedback and insight. I know as FRC is growing, I don't know all of the coaches anymore. I don't know the people who are going through the cohorts. And while that's really nerve-wracking to me, it's so freaking exciting because we're getting to the point that we have incredible people that I can count on, that FRC can count on to do the work, to bring our coaches together, to communicate effectively, to be really strong members and advocates for coaching and what FRC looks like moving towards the future. So that was something I just don't hesitate. If there's something going on, if you've got a question, you're more than welcome to certainly reach out to any one of us. I believe we'll be also providing a feedback survey on tonight's presentation as well. So don't hesitate, please, to provide some feedback, insight, questions, comments, and concerns for us. That's how we grow. That's how we get better at what we do. And then lastly, watch and share information about first responders in crisis. Again, that was the documentary that I am a part of, FRC was a part of, coaching was a part of. It is currently on a bunch of different major platforms. Go check it out, guys. I believe it's 99 cents right now on Amazon Prime. Just saying. So you'll be receiving some information again in the email I send out after this meeting on how to access that, guys. So lots of real great pieces in terms of takeaways for moving into 2024 for our coaches, for our team, for FRC. So final message here again, thank you so much. 2023 has been an incredible year. Again, every single day I have conversations with people around the country who are feeling and experiencing the troubles and challenges around our first responder community, our first responder life. And please, just as a very specific statement, as we launch 2 roads for the non-first responder community, please be mindful that our FRC will still remain strong and our absolute direct connection with that first responder community is impactful and very important to us. And so please be mindful that that is going to stay as the foundation of BLC and our foundation of first responder coaching and providing services for this first responder community. So, but again, I appreciate you, humbled by all of you and by all of the work that we are doing, engaging in difficult conversations, asking powerful questions, coaching in ways that are just bringing this incredible community together. So looking forward to 2024. I really appreciate, again, all of your time tonight. I am looking forward to seeing where we go in 2024. So thank you again for attending our meeting, everyone. I believe that's, yes, there we go. Your feedback continue. One more slide. We'll share a link to an anonymous survey to receive feedback about this presentation and our goals for 2024. So please don't hesitate to contact us and complete the survey and let us know what you think. I believe that's it. Dun, dun, dun. Yay. not too shabby. 1 hour and 1 minute. Thank you so much, guys, for being on tonight. I'm going to stop the recording and allow some space and time if anyone on here has any questions that they would like to ask. If not, thank you so much and enjoy your evening.